Hello, my name is Graeme Codrington, and I'm an author, a researcher, a futurist, and a speaker on the issue of the new world of work. For the last 10 years, I've had a real passion for understanding how the world of work is changing, and for helping people to not only understand what's changing, but also be able to influence and be successful in it. I have a full-time research team that works with me to investigate the forces that are shaping this new world of work. You see, we believe that the current economic environment is not one that is going to last forever. In many countries, there's obviously huge economic downturn in the United States and in Europe. And that has spread across other parts of the world as Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa have slowed down in their growth in recent years. But we don't believe that this is just a financial crisis. We believe that when this financial issue is over, people will discover that the world has not gone back to how it used to be. I'm getting very nervous for some of my clients who are saying things like, I can't wait for things to get back to normal, so we can just go about doing our business the way we know how to do it. You see, I don't think there is a normal anymore. I think too many things have changed. Political, social, cultural, economic, and many other factors have shifted over the last 3 or 4 years. And a new normal is emerging. That's what I and my team focus on really trying to understand, and making sure that we are able to help our clients at every level of their organization, from the senior executives all the way down to the frontline staff, to understand these forces and to adapt their strategies and their tactics so that they can take advantage of this emerging new world of work. I'm very excited about 2 of my latest products. I do keynote presentations, I do strategic sessions with companies, often as strategic insights at their off-site meetings or their strategy events. I also do leadership development programs, which are slightly longer programs or are components of longer programs that companies put together. But in each of these situations, we and my team bring a number of different frameworks together to make sure that we customize what we do for our clients. 2 of the generic frameworks that we're using at the moment that I'm very excited about are Leading in a Changing World and the TIDES of Change. TIDES is an acronym which stands for 5 disruptive forces. These are not the only forces shaping the world today, but they are the 5 most important and certainly the 5 most disruptive. These 5 are, first of all, technology. This is an obvious place to start. We've had dramatic advances in computing power over the past few years, as well as a new generation of young people coming into the workforce who are completely tech savvy. They grew up in the internet world, they are digital natives. And we need to understand that the computing power that they have and the lifestyle that they bring with them are combining in the workplace right now to really be a very disruptive force. The I in the TIDES model stands for institutional change. Now this has got to do with the pillars of our industries, the pillars of our societies, the institutions that make up society around us. And almost every institution we can think of is undergoing deep structural change right now. We need to understand that change and understand how those changes bring both threats and opportunities for us. We do this at an industry level, at a company level, and also a personal level. The D in the TIDES model stands for demographics. Demographics is the science of looking at populations and how people move and work and interact with each other. Of course, the big news here is the number of people there are in the world and the migration patterns that they have. But this also, we also look at aging populations, we look at a new generation coming in with different expectations and values. Depending on what you need in your event, we're able to really do a lot of work around the demographic issue. The people part of the future is the bit that I'm really excited and passionate about. The E in the TIDES model stands for the environment. This is an obviously important thing to have a look at: sustainability and the natural environment we find ourselves in, and of course the regulations and policies surrounding those. Finally, the S stands for social values, or shifting social values. If everything is changing as we suggest, well then it must be obvious that people have a different set of expectations, a different view of what is normal from life. We need to consider each of these 5 forces. Each one of them is big enough to disrupt the world as we know it. Pulled together, they're causing a dramatic shift, maybe even an era-changing shift in human history. The companies, the leaders who understand that the shift is taking place and who take advantage of the shift as it takes place, well, they're going to be the most successful in the coming years. So that's the TIDES model, and that's a lovely view of the near future. It's kind of, if you like, lifting the horizon just a little bit so that we can see what's about to happen and take advantage of it. This is a great presentation as a keynote at a conference. It's also a great interactive session, working with a strategy team, or any team in fact. We do a lot of work with marketing and HR in particular, using this theme as a basis at their meetings. And of course it could be the basis of a 2 or 3 day leadership development program. The second program that I'm very excited about is called Leading in a Changing World. And this essentially looks deeper at this changing world, but from the specific viewpoint of the leadership requirements. If the world is changing, then leadership has to change as well. And we're convinced that we are in an era-shifting moment in human history. So what we do in the Leading in a Changing World program is we first of all have a look at the changing world. This could be linked in with that Tides of Change model as well, or it could be a standalone. We have a look at the changing world, the changing workforce, and the changing workplace as 3 key drivers of change for every leader everywhere. If there are 3 forces shaping a new world of work for leaders, then there are also 3 new skills that leaders need to have. Leaders need to engage and collaborate more. Leaders need to be transparent in how they engage with people. No longer can we hide behind a command and control type approach to leadership and sit back in the hierarchies of our organizations. Transparency is the new normal. The third skill is that leaders need to be agile or nimble, need to be able to change and help their teams and companies to change successfully as well. So if there are 3 forces driving change and 3 new sets of skills, then finally there are also 3 imperatives for leadership. So we call these the ABCs of leadership. The A stands for adaptive intelligence. This is a new mindset that leaders need to have that doesn't rely on the experience of technical abilities that they bring, but rather understands the changing environment in which they find themselves and is able to adapt quickly and bring new insights and intuition to bear. So adaptive intelligence. The B stands for a balcony perspective. During tough times and during competitive moments, it's too easy for leaders to dive in to what we call the dance floor. Now, of course, leaders do have to have their fingers on the pulse, but the very best leaders these days, the leaders who will stand out from the crowd, are those who are able to step away from the dance floor and take time to walk up to the balcony to see the big picture. And finally, the C in the ABCs has got to do with conversations. We believe that storytelling, the ability to communicate effectively, the ability to communicate in the form of compelling stories that grab people's attention and lift their souls and their spirits. Well, this is a key leadership imperative, to shape the story and mold the narrative in a way that drives the team forward. So leading in a changing world is very much focused on the leadership issue and is a great mind-opening presentation or workshop for leaders at every level of the organization. There are many other things that I do. Each of those forces that we talked about in the TIDES model is unpacked in a presentation or program of its own, and I have a great team backing me up. I also have a number of speaking colleagues as well, and we're able to provide a number of interchangeable components in any program or event. If you'd like more information, would like to read up a little bit about some of my presentations, please have a look at this website, graemespeaks.com. There you'll find information, you'll find a list of all of my clients at the countries I've presented in. Last year alone, I was in 23 different countries on over 50 individual international trips. I speak regularly to large audiences and also enjoy the engagement of small audiences. I work with some of the world's leading business schools as an external faculty member, and I'm a board advisor to a number of large blue chip companies. All of that information, including some testimonials and a number of video snippets from some recent presentations, are all available on my website. If you'd like more information about how to book me, well, please just contact the agent involved, and all of those details will be easily available to you. I would love to have the opportunity of working with you, maybe speaking at one of your events or being involved in a strategy or a staff session. I'd love to learn from you and learn from some of the issues that your industry is facing. I don't want to just be a speaker who jets in and jets out. I definitely want to work to understand the dynamics of what's happening in your industry. That's what I enjoy about my job, is the ability to see across different industries and see some of the big trends and forces, and then bring that information in an easily accessible format to people like yourself and your teams to help you make a success of the next few years. I'd love to work with you, and I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm Graeme Codrington. I look forward to hearing from you.